So, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 101 is finally out, beginning the brand new recharged story arc as we enter a brand new story with the Power Ranger comics done by Boom Studios. And with this relaunch, we've got a whole new team working on the comics, one of them being a brand new writer, Melissa Flores. Now, if you don't know Melissa, she's worked with Power Rangers before, dating back to the Neo Saban era on the TV show, being a writer, director, and even a producer here and there. And she worked on the Neo Saban era all the way up to the Hasbro era, not only that, having a hand when it came to Power Rangers Hyperforce. So Melissa is very, very familiar with the Power Rangers brand, having worked on it herself. And with a brand new writer, we've also got a brand new artist, and I do apologize if I butcher your name, but we've got Simona Di Gianfelici. I do apologize if I butcher your name, but her artwork is really freaking good from what I've seen so far. Seeing her designs when it comes to Mistress Vile, or seeing characters like Bulk and Skull, or when the Rangers morph, or even seeing the Dragon Zord in this issue, looks great. Like, the attention to detail with the characters and their expressions are really great and really awesome to look at. But not only that, the colouring done by Rao Angulu, I do apologise if I butchered your name, and the lettering done by Ed Dukeshire is amazing as well. Shout out to Ed, because Ed has been doing the lettering for these comics ever since issue 0 in MMPR. So shout out to Ed. Ed's been working on this comic for the longest time, doing amazing lettering when it comes to speeches and text that the characters show. So Ed doesn't get enough love. Shout out to Ed. Thanks for watching this video if you are watching it. So without any further ado, let's talk about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 101, because there's a lot to unpack when it comes to this issue. Now, the first couple of pages we see with this issue shows how much has changed with the Power Ranger comics since it first started, when it was still in the Saban era, because what we see in issue 101, the show it kicking off with a boom, is we see Zordon being trapped in the dimensional warp, which was something that Ryan and Kyle had said on podcasts like Ranger Command and Ranger Danger. One of the rules that Saban said that Ryan or Kyle couldn't do was they couldn't show Zordon being trapped in the time wave. Why? No idea. It was just a rule and something they could never show in the comics. But now, in the Hasbro era, it shows that Hasbro has leaned up and eased up on those rules, and we're allowed to see stuff like that. We're allowed to dive into Zordon's past and see how he got trapped in the tube, or got trapped in the interdimensional time warp. And I gotta say, it's really freaking cool and a really interesting note, because it happens right before Rita is sealed away. And as she's casting the spell, it's a very interesting note, because you see the dragon coin symbol in her eyes, which, when I talked about it in my preview pages, a lot of people were questioning it, but if you go back and read Go-Go, Rita had access to these powers many moons ago when she was still an evil sorcerer sort of conquering the world. So she had access to these powers ages ago, she just couldn't find someone who could use them correctly. Now, the panel that we get when Zordon gets trapped in the time warp, the last thing we see before jumping into the present day, is really freaking cool, because we've got this green smoke behind Zordon, his body's turning all transparent, there's this black lightning with green strokes around it to show that it's Rita. But then you've got the moon behind him as he's fading away, which is really freaking cool with how it's set up and how it's drawn. Like I said, the lighting and the colouring really complements it well with how this scene is getting set up, and Zordon's just screaming for his life as he's trapped in the warp. So I do hope we continue this flashback in the next issue. I really do hope that Melissa's going to do what Ryan did back in the day, with sort of doing flashbacks when the issue opens up, when we learn more about these characters. And I feel like that's the direction she's going in, because we're probably going to learn more about Rita and see how Zordon struggled to cope without his body. So after that flashback, we cut back to the present day, where Zordon was having a nightmare of what we just saw, and Zordon feels a chill. Well, I'd say a chill go down his spine, but he ain't got one. But Zordon knows that shit is coming and stuff is about to go down, so he wants Alpha and the Rangers to be prepared, because the moon disappeared apparently, and that's something I missed way back in the Matt Groom run, or maybe I forgot about it. And apparently in Mighty Morphin issue 17, the moon disappeared, and they're sort of trying to figure out why it disappeared, and could Lord Zed be behind it, because the Lord Zed has been very quiet, so Lord Zed could be plotting in the shadows. And that makes sense, because we haven't seen Lord Zed since the Eltarian War, so I got the feeling that he must have been scheming or something, but we'll talk about Lord Zed in a bit. So, after that, we then cut to the Rangers training with Matt, and that's really cool to see Matt back in this comic, because I was worried Matt would get sidelined, or he would sort of be helping Grace in the background or something like that, and he'd join the team when needed, but no, Matt's just hanging out with the team, and he's kind of like the 7th Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, helping out everyone, which is great to see. I'm glad to see Matt getting involved, but what's also really interesting about Matt is he might have a crush on Aisha. That's right, we could see a relationship between Aisha and Matt in the comics, and I would like to see that. I would like to see these characters mishmash and bounce off each other, and it's one of those moments where Matt likes Aisha, but I don't know if Aisha likes Matt. She probably does, but they're probably going to talk about it and confess their feelings for one another later down the line. But I totally support this Matt and Aisha ship that the fandom is doing ever since the preview pages came out, because I want to see these characters get together by the end of this story arc. And if something does happen to Matt in this story arc, that's going to be motivation for Aisha. And it's great to see Matt sort of falling in love with Aisha, because it shows that he's moved on from Kimberly, which is another great thing to see, that he's not sort of hung up and stuck up on her. He's moved on, and he's got a crush on someone else, and it's cool to see that it's someone else on the team. Speaking of love and crushes, we cut to Bulk and Skull, and we can see that Skull is still hung up on Candace after what happened in the Eltarian War, which is cool to see it brought up again in the beginning of this brand new story arc, but that also probably hints that we're probably going to be seeing Candace again with whatever threat Rita Repulsa is going to be in this brand new story arc, because Eltar is sort of reforming and becoming the protective forces that they once used to be, now that they're under a new leadership probably, so I'm guessing that Candace is probably going to show up again in this story arc, but Skull is hung up that he probably should have went with her because she meant a lot to him, and all he does with Bulk is talk about the podcast and stuff they're probably going to do, like eating and that, so I can understand where Skull's coming from, but seeing that Candace got name-dropped in this episode, and seeing what threat we're dealing with at the end of this issue, I'm guessing that Candace is probably going to make her return in this story arc. So, the moon returns, and suddenly the Rangers get a distress signal. Someone is calling out for help, with the moon now reappearing. Who's calling out for help? Well, none other than Lord Zed. So the Rangers and Zordon are hesitant that this could be a trap, because why would Lord Zed call for help? But they do say that even Lord Zed is their enemy, he's calling out for help, so they should check it out. So, off to space they go, in the Dragon Zord. So once again we get to see the Dragon Zord floating through space, but now the Dragon Zord has a bit of an upgrade, a new cosmetic you could say. And what is it? Well, giant dragon wings, and I gotta say, it looks pretty freaking cool. I mean, it kind of looks like that Flame toy design, where that's got those kind of wings on it, and the Dragon Zord's just got a brand new cosmetic to sort of make it fly through space, and I gotta say, it looks pretty freaking cool. So, as our heroes fly through space, they're attacked by this brand new breed of putty. And I'm guessing these are Dark Spectre related putties, because they're more greyish, they've got red glowing eyes, and they've got these red glowing parts around them, red glowing veins you can see around them. And they basically get inside the Dragon Zord and sort of mess with the systems, making it crash onto the ground. And once they crash on the ground, they find Goldar running away from putties, screaming for his life, panicking to the Rangers that someone is going to kill Lord Zed. Who is that? Well, if you read the issue, you kind of know, but you can see how distressed Goldar is with this brand new threat that Rita Repulsa is, and that she's going to kill Lord Zed. So even Rita is outdoing Lord Zed, and Lord Zed was a huge threat in the last story arc with his Chaos Energy power-up. So, let's keep talking about it and dive deeper as they explore the moon. So, we've got Rocky and Aisha, and they go into the palace where we find Lord Zed's throne, the throne that's an actual monster, and they encounter Finster there as well. Now, Finster in this issue, it's hard to see where he aligns because it seems like that he's the one that sort of stick the chair onto the Rangers and made it attack him. It does look like there's this one scene where it gets sliced in half, and it's hard to see if Finster did attack it. I'm not sure. At this point, it's not properly explained, but I get the feeling that Finster would have switched sides and joined forces with Rita, seeing how she's a lot more powerful now. But there's this one scene that I really liked, and it's when Matt asks Kimberly and Tommy, asking if Aisha and Rocky are going to be okay. And Kimberly replies with, they're not rookies anymore. If they need help, they'll ask. And I really like that scene with Kimberly right there, having complete faith in the Stone Canyon Trio, because when Necessary Evil started up, like over 60 plus issues ago, they were brand new to the team. They were just starting out, and they were still getting experience being Rangers. They were sort of going through the trials. And now, like 100 issues in, or up to issue 101, you can see that Kimberly now has complete faith in Aisha, Rocky, and Adam, knowing that they can handle stuff on their own, and if they need help, they'll ask. So I do like that growth and the respect that Kimberly has for the Stone Canyon Trio, because it shows how far these characters have come since the Necessary Evil story arc. They've grown into their own, and they've become excellent Rangers. So on the last couple of pages, we've got Matt, Kimberly, and Tommy walking around underneath the palace. And there's this really cool scene where Tommy can't see anything, and Kimberly just punches one of the putties that tries sneaking up on Tommy. But there's another really cool Kimberly moment where, because they can't see anything, she fires her bow, and because it has this pink glow to it, it travels across where they're exploring, and when it hits the ground, it sort of lights the way. And what we see is Lord Zed on the ground, covered in green blood, in green goop. You can basically see the sort of tubes on his back or on his body ripped open and all over the place. So you can see that Lord Zed has taken some damage. So on the final page, you see Rita Repulsa, or Mistress File as she's going to be called in this brand new story arc, standing over Lord Zed saying, "Welcome Rangers, let's get reacquainted." Now, this is a really cool scene because you see Rita asserting a dominance over Lord Zed, because it shows how powerful she is with this brand new form, and she's able to sort of wipe the floor with Lord Zed, so it sort of changes the status quo with who's the more powerful villain in this comic now, and that's Rita with her brand new power-up. So that's something. Her outfit looks really freaking amazing. I love it. I freaking adore this outfit with how it looks. But seeing how Matt's there too, that's probably going to mess with him a lot, because back in the day in Go-Go, he was kidnapped by Rita and sort of tortured and interrogated to learn about the Rangers and their secrets. And there's something I got to talk about on this final page. There's someone standing behind Rita. Who that is, no idea, because they're silhouetted. All we can see is they've got glowing blue eyes, and they've got sort of this cracked glow around their face. I have no idea who it is. It could be like some kind of a Clipdoor race person or something like that, but they look cool. I can't wait to meet that character. Whoever that is standing behind Rita, no idea. It could be Rito, no idea. I don't think it's Rito because I can't make out the skull, the headpiece. You don't see the helmet, so this could be an entirely new character. But yeah, Rita Repulsa is back with her brand new outfit, brand new form, and she's already asserted her dominance by wiping the floor with Lord Zed, showing how powerful she is. And I gotta say, issue 101 was a great issue. Right away, right off the bat, Melissa is continuing the storyline we've been following for ages, jumps right into the action and sets up this brand new threat right away. There was no build up towards it for next issue, it's just brand new threat right away, here's the next story arc, we're jumping right into it. And that's what I love. That's what I love a lot. So I'm excited to see where this comic is going to go next with this brand new story arc. It definitely still has my attention, and I can't wait to see what Melissa is going to do with Rita Repulsa returning. Because one thing people say to me in my videos a lot is, oh, I would love to see the wedding retold, or we gotta redo the wedding because Rita and Lord Zed have to get married. It happened in the show, it's gotta happen in the comics. Well, seeing what happened here, I think the wedding is off. I think the wedding is definitely off, unless it already happened and this is the honeymoon. Yeah, like, this is an interesting dynamic to have Rita back on top as she enters the comics once again. But anyway, guys, what did you think of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 101? Love it? Hate it? Tell me in the comment section down below. Let's get a discussion going. With that said, I think I'm going to bring this video to a close. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you guys later. Peace out, take care, bye.